Yeah. And what we have done here is to feature stories from writers who were largely part of the literary wave that swept in with independence. V.S. Naipaul, Selvon, Sonny Ladu, Wayne Brown, Elizabeth Nunes, Robert Anthony, and many others. To these we have added C.L.R. James, the only present from an earlier generation, as well as a new wave of younger writers, principally women. In addition, we have included the poems The Schooner Flight from Walcott, who is at least half Trinidadian, and Homestead from the too long ignored writer Eric Roach from our sister island of Tobago. The result is the publication of many moods, and what? I can't find the place. These stories are all set in what I've just gone over it. Are all set in what looks like the last days of the colonial world. And while they are not all focused on crime, a common element of the Noir genre, they direct attention to the violence of a society that has not quite settled accounts with the casualties of enslavement and indentureship. Right. So Noir for me is a very slippery concept. And in fact, we're trying to discover what is Noir. As I listened to people talk earlier about what Noir is, I thought it's very difficult for us to have a Trinidad Noir without having laughter, without being funny, because I don't think that we have accepted or taken over or institutionalized the whole idea of evil, if you want, or the supposed dark side as a way of life. I think we're still looking, when we even talk about Noir, we're looking for something to straighten things out, something to get things better. I think one of the points that I make here is this, which I will read. Trinidad itself is a relatively new society, one of the latest colonial settlements in the West Indies. What is remarkable about this place is that it contains influences from all parts of the globe. The Amerindian, the European, the African, the Mulatto, the Indian, the Chinese, the Middle Eastern, and more, in all their fascinating combinations. At the same time, it is also a society established in colonial inequality and injustice, against which affected communities have continued to rebel. Where this country is different even from its Caribbean sisters is the degree to which it has developed its folk arts, its carnival, its steel band, its music, as forms of both rebellion and mediation. These forms have not only continued to entertain us, they ritualize rebellion, speak out against oppression, and affirm the personhood of the down-oppressed. This rebellion is not evident with the same intensity as it used to be. Independence and political partisanship and the growing distance of the middle class from the folk, among other developments, have seen a fluctuation in the ideals of rebellion. Yet what is incontestable is that these arts have established and maintained a safe space for conflict to be resolved, or at least expressed, not in a vacuum, but in the face of a status quo utilizing its muscle and myths to maintain a narrative that upholds its interests. As the situation becomes more complex and information more crucial, our literature is best placed to challenge or to consolidate these myths. Individually, we are left to decide on whose behalf our writing will be employed. In this situation, the struggle has been within the arts themselves, whether they see themselves as an extension of rebellion or art as entertainment. Although late on the scene and without the widespread appeal of the native and folk arts, our literature can lay claim to being part of these arts of rebellion, upholding and making visible the dismissed and ignored, lifting the marginalized into personhood, persuading us that a new world is required, and establishing this island as a place in which it can be imagined and created. It is against this background that this fantastic anthology expresses and grapples with the question of who we are, what is classic, who is Trinidadian, and what is Noir. That is the introduction. That sounds very lively. Right, and I will just read a little piece of what my contribution today, in which it will be clear that I'm more comfortable. This is called Jobel in America. Jobel find that he's seen too much hell in Trinidad, so he make up his mind to leave and go away. The place he find he should go is America, where everybody have a motor car, and you could ski on snow, and where they have 75 channels of color television that never sign off, and you could sit down and watch for days all the boxing and wrestling and basketball right there as it happening. Money is the one problem that keeping him in Kunaripo. But that year, as Christmas was coming, luck hit Jobel in the gamble. And for 3 days straight, he went out the wapi. After he gave two good partners a steak and hand his mother a raise and buy a watch for his girl, he still have 1,975 Trinidad and Tobago dollars that is his own. That was the time. If Jobel don't go to America now, he will never go again. But a couple of years earlier, Jobel make a prison for wounding, and before that they had him up for resisting arrest and using obscene language. Jobel have a record. And for him to get a passport, he must first get a letter from the police to say that he's of good character. All the bribe Jobel tried to bribe, he can't get his letter from the police. He prepared to pay $1,000 for the letter, but the police partner who he had working on the matter keep telling him to come back and come back and come back. But another partner tell him that with the same $1,000, he could get a whole new American passport with new name and everything. The only thing a little ticklish is Jobel will have to talk Yankee. Jobel smiled because if his one gift he have is to talk languages, not Spanish and French and Italian and such, but he could talk English and American and Grenadian and Jamaican. And of all of them, the one he loved best is American. If there's the only problem, well, Jobel in America already. But they have another problem. The fellow who fixing up the passport business for him tell him straight, if he tried to go direct from Trinidad to America with the US passport, he could get arrested at the airport. So the partner advised that the best thing to do is for Jobel to try to get in through Puerto Rico, where they have all those Spanish people, and where the immigration don't be so fussy. Matter fixed. Jobel write another partner who he went to school with, and who in the States 7 years, and tell him he coming over to look out for him. He will ring him from Puerto Rico. Up in Independence Recreation Club where we gamble, since Jobel win this big money, he's a hero. All the fellas is suddenly his friend, everybody calling out, Jobel, Jobel. Some asking his opinion and some giving him advice on how to gamble his money. But Jobel not in no hurry. He knows just as how you could win fast playing wapi, so you could lose fast too. And although he wanted to stay in the wapi room and hear how we talk of his gambling ability, he decided the safer thing to do is to go and play poker, where if he have to lose, he could lose more slow, and where if he lucky, he could win a good race too. Jobel don't really have to be in the gambling club at all. His money is his own. but Jobel have himself down as a hero. And to win and run away is not classy. Jobel have himself down as classy. Fellas' eyes opened big that night when they see Jobel heading for the poker room. Because in there it have Japan and fisherman from Mearu and Captain and Papu and a fellow named Morgan, who every Thursday has come up from Tunapuna with a bag full with money and a knife in his shoe. Every man in there could really play poker. In Wapi, luck is the master, but in poker, skill is what make luck work for you. When they break that Friday morning, Jobel staggered out the poker room with his whole body washed down with perspiration, out 500 of his good dollars. Friday night, he come back with the money he had given his girl to keep. By 11, he was down 3. Fellas get silent, and all of us vexed to see how money he wait so long to get, he giving away so easy. But Jobel was ready to go America in truth. In the middle of the poker, he leave the game to pee. On his way back, he walk into the Wapi room. If you see Jobel, the whole front of his shirt open and he wiping sweat from all behind his head. He'd somebody laugh and say, on the table that time is 2 cards, Jack and Trey. Alban and Ram was winning everybody. The both of them like Trey. They gobbling up all bets. Was a Friday night. Waterworks get paid. County Council get paid. It had men from forestry. It had fellas from the housing project. Money high on the table. Jobel's favorite card is Jack. Ram was the loser the night Jobel win break. Now Ram on top. Who against Trey? Ram say. He don't look at Jobel, but everybody knows Jobel he talking to. Out of all Jobel money, 1,000 going to pay for the false passport. And already in the poker he lose 8. Jobel have himself down as a hero. A hero can't turn away. Everybody waiting to see the token, but they're waiting to see what Jobel will do. Jobel wiped his face, then he wiped his chest, then he wring out the perspiration from the kerchief, hold the handkerchief and put it around his neck and bam, just like that. Like how you see in pictures when the star boy, quiet all the time, begin to make his move. Jobel crawled right up to the Wapi table, fellas clearing the way for him, and he emptied out everything he had in his pocket. And lazy, like he really is that star boy, he said, Jack, for this money. Ram was waiting, counted casa. When they counted, the money was $213 and some change. Jobel threw the change for a broken hustler. Ram match him. Bam, 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 and 3 cards. Jack play. Double Jobel say for all. Okay.
Yes, man. Yes.